What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the Japanese Grand Prix, round number 16 of the season for season 6 now, and nearing the end of the season now pretty much, and swiftly we'll be moving into season 7, and I can't believe I'm saying that, almost 120 episodes of this career mode, but here we are nonetheless, and jumping into Friday practice at the Suzuka circuit. You can see in the Friday practice programs, we had a mixed bag of results. It was all going really well for us until we pretty much hit the qualifying pace, because the car just didn't have the pace to match the qualifying performance. I just could not pull it off. I tried in practice 1 and practice 2, and there was just no way I could do it. So overall, not the amount of points I would have wanted, but still with points to the tally nonetheless, and we're going to be using those at the end of this episode for an upgrade, so keep an eye out for that one. Also, a small disclaimer, there's no replay cams in this episode, and also no end of race standings, because basically when I went to record to the replay cams, my game froze, and I ended up closing my game because my game was basically, in inverted commas, crashing. So I basically lost that part of the video, but you can sort of get a good idea what happens based off of how the race progresses anyway. But basically, you won't see any end of race standings or replay cams, like I said. So I do apologise for that one in advance. But nonetheless, let's focus on qualifying now for Saturday at Suzuka. And straight away in Q1, opting for the slower soft compound tyres in the first part of qualifying, and not in Q2. Reason being is because there is heavy rain expected in the race tomorrow for the entire race. So we don't have to worry about tyre strategy again for this qualifying session, just like the last race in Malaysia. So with that in mind, in Q2 we do go for the super soft tyres, a bit more aggressive than usual, and so far that's not too bad actually. We're only a couple of tenths off from Sebastian Vettel, the current man in pole position in first place, and we've got the final chicane to tackle here, which we're going to try to be nice and aggressive with, trying to retake a nice chunk out of the curbs, and overall the car felt pretty good. Not a lot of confidence, not as much as I would have liked. I felt better in past seasons, but it was a good car underneath me nonetheless, and we do go P5 there at the time of crossing the line, but eventually we would fall down to P6 going into the Q3 session, with Massa also following me through there, with Ricardo being the surprise knockout in P12 there, trying to go for the soft compound tyre, even though it's absolutely pointless. But either way, in Q3, in our first run, we do go for a pretty good attempt actually, and we do set a pretty okay banker lap as a reference point. We do go P7 there, but so I'm going to try and go for a second attempt, and this was my best lap of the session. So we're going to run on board now for a full lap of the brilliant Suzuka circuit here, and straight away into turn 1 flat out, and then basically for turn 2 you want to keep it nice and tight to the inside without touching the inside curb, and then let the car run out nice and wide as we now go into 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then to the Dunlop, which is basically the S section here. It's all about momentum and flow, and also avoiding the curbs realistically. You want to get as close as you can without actually touching them. As we now go through the Dunlop curve, I catch the inside curb a little bit there. Luckily we don't get too set offline as we now go into Degner 1, a little bit of a downshift, almost flat out pretty much, then into Degner 2, attacking the curb on the inside, using all the track available to me on the external curb there, and now through the kink into the Kobayashi curve, the hairpin, third gear, really trying to push the brake entry limit there, and no lock up, absolutely perfect, and very good traction on the exit of the corner. Markedly improves meanwhile as we now make our way to Spoon, and you want to brake, I think, bang on the 50-meter board and down to 6th gear, and then eventually drop it down to 5th for the second part of the Spoon curve, keeping it nice and tight on the curb here, putting the power on as soon as you dare down the hill, and basically now we're going to be flat out for about 10 seconds, meanwhile tackling the 130R as we now prepare ourselves for the break point of the final chicane, and I believe it's called the Casio Triangle, so we're going to brake very hard for this one, down to third gear, possibly fourth, but third to get the nose in, attack the apex, and then attack the second part of the corner. But I run a little bit wide there, and I don't get the traction that I want, and I have to keep it tight to the inside as we run into the line. But overall, a good lap of the Suzuka circuit with pretty much minimal mistakes, and overall it's going to be P6 for the race tomorrow. So overall, a very good qualifying session there, and a very good lap indeed in Q3, and really putting one together when it mattered the most. I mean, look at the gap between myself and my teammate there, almost a second apart. So a big difference there between us. But overall, a very good qualifying session. Vettel takes pole position in the Ferrari ahead of Sergio Perez, but I believe Vettel does have a 5-place grid penalty going into the race tomorrow. So that is going to mean Vettel's actually going to start behind me, which is very interesting. So championship rivals are going to be pretty much on the same row of the grid as we go into the race tomorrow, but Perez is going to be the man to start from pole position. So with that being said, we're now going to move into Sunday for the race for round number 16 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Right, here we are then on the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. P5 after a pretty decent qualifying, getting promoted 1 place in the race. So even though it was P6, like I said, we're up into P5, so that's a positive one for us. And we move forward on row 3. But as you can see in front of us, we've got a tricky situation because we do have some very fast cars who we're going to try and battle here today, and especially those 2 red ones on the front row. But I think one of the Ferraris has been I'm going to say penalised. I'm hoping. I can't see who's in first place, so it's either Perez who started on pole, or it's going to be one of the Ferrari drivers. So I'm hoping it's a Ferrari guy, to be honest, and if it's Sebastian Vettel, then even better. But right now, you can obviously tell it's absolutely pouring down. It's an absolute monsoon, and it's going to get even worse. If we look at the race strategy, you can see for the first time ever in my F1 game career, I've never seen the second icon before, and that apparently means monsoon conditions, to the point where even the full wet tyre isn't even good enough. So with that in mind, this rain is going to be a real challenge here today. Wet conditions throughout. I'm going to try and go for the one stop, because if we go for an extra stop, it's going to absolutely kill us when it comes to overall position. So we need to try and commit to the one stop and put through and get through the tyre wear. But that second part of the race with the monsoon conditions is going to be very interesting. So we've got to be very, very, on edge, also very aware, and just overall be very, very concentrated in this race. So hopefully it all works out for us. The task is simple. We've got to try and limit the damage Vettel does to us, if not try and beat him again, which is going to be a real challenge. But we'll try our best and see how things pan out. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the race for round number 16 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Then we're going to get ready to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. And Sebastian Vettel was actually behind me. He started behind me and got the penalty. So Sebastian there, no way through. We're going to switch to the inside to turn 1, but no way through just yet. A little bit of contact with cars, left, right and centre. 3-wide action between Hamilton, Raikkonen and Ocon. I'm going to get the power on here, try and get alongside Sebastian. Go around his outside maybe here. Can we pull it off? Yes, we do. And we get in front of Sebastian Vettel there and recover our starting position. So Vettel, who did qualify on pole, got a fourth place grid penalty for his troubles. I'm going to presume some engine part change or maybe gearbox. And that made him drop down to P6. But that's good news for us, because we've now got our main championship rival behind us. But now we've got to try and settle into this race and really try and get used to these conditions, because I feel like this is going to be the ultimate challenge, especially that monsoon period, which is going to be very interesting. So let's see how this one pans out. There's already a lot of spray on the track and it's bound to get worse. So 27 laps to go. This is going to be a long race. I definitely seem to have fixed my issues now with the wet weather pace, because basically running much higher aero seems to help me out and do it for me. I do have to sacrifice a bit in qualifying in the dry conditions, but it means in the race I'm actually fast. And Ocon's made a mistake into the chicane here and allowed Hamilton pass. So Lewis Hamilton into P3. We're definitely faster than Ocon. Hamilton is fast. He's got some pace underneath him, so I don't know if we're going to be faster than Lewis, but we're definitely faster than Ocon at the minute. And I think I might try and set him up for a pass very soon here and try and stick Ocon between myself and Sebastian Vettel into turn 1. Ocon, once again, very close. A little bit of a love kiss there into turn number 2, but Hamilton's now going to streak away, I think. So we need to try and get past Ocon to try and keep up somewhat with the front end of this race. Oh, safety car deployed. Something's happened. I don't know who retired. There was no retirements on my screen, so there was a slow car underneath, I believe, the second Degner, but I don't know if that was maybe triggered it. But no retirements just yet. Someone just got a slow car. I think it might be a puncher or something maybe. Either way, early safety car here at Japan, and that's going to pretty much, I think, bring us into the monsoon phase of the Grand Prix once we get the restart underway, I'm going to guess. So this is going to get very interesting. Okay, it's Massa out of the race, so my teammate out of the Japanese Grand Prix. Disappointing, as once again we lose a Williams car. And Massa's retired so much this season, it's so disappointing. But either way, we're not going to let that phase us too much. We're in a title fight here, so that's the more important issue at hand. And we've got Sebastian Vettel behind us. Now the real key this race for me is going to be the one-stop strategy, no matter what. If Vettel comes in for a two-stop, then I can relax for a little bit. But right now, we're all on the one-stop as far as I'm concerned, and Vettel being on the one-stop means that we have to keep him behind at all costs. And when he pits, that in-lap of ours, the next lap, has to be perfect, unless I come in a lap earlier, and that way sort of cover myself with an undercut of my own. But even then, Vettel, I think, will be fast enough on the overcut to pass me anyway. So realistically, the very simple story is whatever lap the pit stop transition happens, whether we go a lap over or under, we have to be fast on that lap. That's going to be the key lap here, so we have to be on edge in that particular phase of the race. But right now, very simple, monsoon conditions have now appeared. You can't actually see the car ahead that well, so all we got to do is keep Vettel behind us now until about lap 13 or 14. Okay, safety car in this lap. We've got Verline here in the middle of the pack trying to break us all up. But right now, I'm Ghost for some reason, which is really odd. And I'm sort of wondering why I am. But there we go. We've got back to solid again. So right now, it's all just a big pile up. We're sort of waiting for the restart to get underway here. And look at this. It's all a bit of a confusion at the minute. And We're still not getting underway here. We're still waiting for the safety car. And, okay, that's glitched out, I think. Yeah, I think it's glitched out because we was meant to go racing and the safety car stayed out. This is really weird. It's all got triggered because I went ghost for some weird reason into 130R, even though I was following a train. And, yeah, I don't know what's happened. Okay, now Perez has car trouble as well, so the race is in with car issues. And we're going around at an abnormally slow speed here. I don't know what the hell to make of this. This is unique. I'll put it that way. Okay, the safety car is still going here. The safety car's at 130R. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the safety car might come in now and we go racing and green here at the hairpin. I don't even know what's going on at the minute. This is so strange. All I know is Perez, the race leader, has got car trouble. So with that in mind, that's good news for us because obviously it's going to hold everybody up. So, yeah, there we go. We're getting ready to go racing again. Looks like we are actually going racing now for the restart. And the answer to the question is yes, I think we're racing again. And Vettel is not behind me anymore. What the hell's happened there? Right, okay, that's odd, to say the least. Okay, I think we're going to go green now, finally, at the start-finish line, I'm going to guess, because it's remaining under yellow flag. So I'm going to presume we go green as we cross the start-finish line. So let's try and get nice and close to Ocon here and try and line up an overtake, because this could be our chance to get to P4. And also, you never know, chance for a podium maybe, because Perez has got car trouble. So here we go into the final chicane, braking hard here, can't overtake because the yellow flags. We should go green now, I'm going to guess. There we go, we're going green now. So here we go, let's try and go racing and get back up to racing speed. I think the monsoon conditions have now passed. It's gone back to just standard heavy rain. So we missed out on the monsoon thanks to the safety car, which is good news. But now let's see if our pace is still the same. Verline to turn one though is going to get really awkward, and he's going to tag Hamilton a little bit there. So it's all kicking off here in terms of just strange behaviour and weird ongoings here in this race. And as I have a screen freeze there just for good measure, Ocon's been held up by Verline. We're going to try and slip up the inside. Ultimate opportunist-esque slipping past Ocon there. Verline causing all sorts of trouble, maybe down to the spray, lack of visibility, but either way we're into P4 and we've got past Esteban Ocon, and also Vettel, like I said before, dropped back through the field. So we've managed to somehow gain a lot from that odd transition safety car phase. So now into P4, Perez's car trouble still holding up Raikkonen here, and Hamilton's about to catch up. So this is going to get really, really interesting now. Right, Kimi's trying to overtake Perez now into turn one, and I can just see it happening. Perez, though, has held on, which is good news. The longer Perez holds on to the lead, the better for us, because it gives us a chance to catch up to these three and maybe make something happen, because I don't really have the pace to be faster than Lewis and Raikkonen. But behind Sergio Perez, that gives me the opportunity that I need. And also bear in mind, Perez, the reason he's staying ahead is because of his straight line speed. So Raikkonen and Hamilton are going to struggle to pass him. So this is very good news for us. Okay, so through Spoon, second pass, Spoon trying to set myself up for a bit of a switchback line to pick up the traction, and we are close to Lewis here. Wasn't the best of exits thanks to a bit of a screen freeze, but we're going to run some rich mix to try and gain a bit in the straight line. And here we go, we're going to tuck in nice behind Lewis, a bit of a lift through 130R, just not really confident yet. And on the brakes, I'll be close enough for a move. I think about it, but I'm going to tuck in behind and wait for my chance. Maybe if something kicks off into turn one between Perez and Raikkonen, then we might have a chance here. But we're at the races at the minute, and this is good news for us. So the longer we keep this going, this is better. This is going to also, the safety car is going to basically allow us to come through, pull off the one stop. So that's good news. But here we go, Raikkonen around the outside of Sergio Perez into turn one here. Let's watch this unfold, and it looks like Raikkonen has pulled it off. And there you go, Raikkonen takes the lead of the race. The reigning world champion makes the move, and now we've got to try and use this opportunity to try and maybe be a little bit cheeky here and pull off the move on Lewis. I thought about it around the outside there, but I just didn't have all the grip that I needed. But if we can pull off this double overtake, then we've got a chance here to get ourselves into second place, which would be remarkable, and that would really open up the race for us in terms of the championship, because I think we could actually, if we finish in second and Vettel didn't get ahead of me and he still finished way down the order where he is right now, then that could open up the possibility of us leaving Suzuka leading the championship. So here we go into the hairpin. I know Perez is going to brake early because he's got trouble with his car, so we're going to slip our car down the inside of Lewis here, nice and tidily on the brakes. Now getting the traction on, who's got the better rear end, and there we go, we've just about managed to squad it on, but Hamilton is still there on my inside. I've had to get out of the throttle though, as there's not a lot of room there on the racing line. And oh, Hamilton gets all out of shape, really putting me off there for a second, just getting out of the throttle mid-straight, and that really wasn't good for me. And now we're going to have to try and refocus here. Hamilton very close to Perez. I'm going to have to use up a little bit more rich mix to try and make up for lost ground here. Hamilton's got a massive toe off of the full India, so we've got to try and make up that ground with slipstream. Hamilton's going to back out for 130, I'm going to presume, a little bit. And there we go, we're very close. Just watching this from a distance is going to get very interesting very soon. It's going to all kick off, I think. Hamilton's going to maybe have a go at Perez here into turn 1 this lap, so we need to be close for when that occurs to try and pick up the pieces. Raikkonen now really setting the pace, rich mix flowing. Here we go, Hamilton's going for Perez, he's going to pull to the inside. We're going to watch this unfold, and we're going to just back out a little bit here at the first part of 130R, try and cut back underneath Perez and try and get my nose in there. Very tactical play, and we've made it work. So we're up into 3rd place now, following Hamilton through, losing minimal time. So now let's see if we have the pace to keep up with the silver arrow. Okay, Lewis comes in, so he's going to go off for those wets, even though he was lapping faster than me anyway. We're going to stay out for a bit longer here, because obviously thanks to the safety car, we've got some extended tyre life on these, so I'll probably come in around lap 15 or 16. That way, my final set of tyres won't be that compromised for wear at the end of the race. Also because we have the gap anyway, so we can afford to stay out for a little bit longer here. But right now, we're looking good for a podium. The only thing that's going to disturb the peace is if Sebastian Vettel comes through the field, because he'll be the challenge. But for now, we're looking very good for a top 3 finish here. And now the race here, the Kimi Raikkonen comes into the pit lane. We're going to stay out for a little bit longer here, as we've still got some good pace on these tyres. I'm probably going to come in this lap or the next one, but we've done alright to stay out for a little bit longer here thanks to the safety car. Okay, safety car deployed, and Bottas is out of the race. Now this is good for us, because what this could potentially mean, if we can maybe jump Raikkonen or Hamilton here, if this works out, if they're limited to a delta time, then this might work in our favour. So here we go. We was going to come in this lap anyway, so let's see what happens. I got I got a cut on my lap, so that was why the lap is invalidated. But luckily, lap time is not affected by this. So let's see what happens. Raikkonen's probably going to be comfortably ahead, as he's just passing by us right now. But the question is, where is Lewis Hamilton? This is what I want to know. Let's see where he is. There's a car coming past now. That is Hamilton there. So are we going to be ahead of him? It's going to be close. I think Hamilton might just have it though. Are we going to make it? Not quite. Hamilton stays in front just about, unfortunately for us. But either way, we almost pulled it off. But still, we're going to rejoin in P3 under safety car conditions here. So we're going to basically go racing again. And the front 3 is going to be compromised, so we're going to have a second chance of maybe getting past Hamilton here. But if we don't make it work, then P3 is probably the best we can do, unless his safety car brings a certain Sebastian Vettel back into play. Okay, safety car in this lap, very late call, literally seconds ago. And here we go, we're racing again here. And Hamilton's had a poor restart. I've managed to get the traction on, and we're going to slip past. That came out of absolutely nowhere. The safety car, very, very late being called in here, but we've made it work, and we're into 2nd place. So very, very obviously ready and eager on the restart, and also just being aware really pays off there. I was ready to pounce at any second, and we've just had a big mistake here, losing the back end, and that is not good. We've lost the position thanks to a bit of a screen freeze. Also, Ricciardo and Hamilton have got back past us, which is disappointing, especially Hamilton, and now Ricciardo has got another past us, so we've got to try and re-overtake the Red Bull, but I don't even know if I've got the pace to do that. But that is a big shame after such a good restart to have that one little mistake, also down to partially to a screen freeze. But either way, let's try and get settled here and not lose our head too much. Vettel, I can't really see him too much behind us, so that's good news. Oh, Ricciardo comes in, so never mind. We're going to be given 3rd place back as Ricciardo does come in. So it looks like he's the only person to actually go for that sort of strategy, which is interesting. But we're back up into 3rd place as if nothing really happened. So let's try and bring this one home in a podium position, because that's realistically the best we can do. So let's focus, hope for no more mistakes, and try and finish on the podium. Personal best 43.3, almost a second faster than my previous personal best. So the pace is good at the minute. So we're breaking away from Hulkenberg, but like I said, the pace realistically is only good enough for P3. Well, a pretty big improvement there, 42.5, and I actually gained a bit of time on Hamilton that lap. I don't think I'll be able to maintain that pace, but that's a good lap. Right, through 130R for the final time, into the final chicane. I've got it in Lee mix, trying to save some engine power and also some fuel, and overall just keeping the engine at minimum wear, because overall it's been a good race for us, and overall I'm not going to complain. We beat Sebastian Vettel quite convincingly when it comes to points and also positions. Raikkonen wins though, so that might just get him back into the mix. I'm not sure now where things shape up. It does entirely depend pretty much on where Sebastian Vettel is. I know Raikkonen gains 10 points on me, so he is, with that race, brought himself back into contention quite drastically. And Raikkonen now is going to be another factor, because after the last race, I thought he might have just signed himself out of contention, but after that win, he's bounced back in the best possible way with his teammate not in sight, which is what you want, and he gained 10 points on me. So Raikkonen will be very, very happy with that one, and the old dog still with plenty of fight left in him there. But we take home a podium in P3, not too disappointing there. Hamilton in second place, and overall third place. I think we deserve that. We tried our hardest. We managed to get the strategy right and also call it perfectly under the safety cars, and overall it benefited us in the best possible way. But overall, a very good Japanese Grand Prix for us, and as you can see, it culminates with us getting onto the third step of the podium there, alongside, like I said, Hamilton and Raikkonen. And now we move into the next race, which is going to be interesting, because things are going to be very wide open in the championship there, and I'm hoping I have a bit more of a competitive car. I think we go to Mexico next, or Kota. I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be Kota, actually, so that's one where I struggle with, so hopefully it goes okay for us. But either way, let's move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings. Right, so at the R&D tree, we're going to try and purchase an upgrade. We've just about got enough points, so we're going to go for a front wing turning vanes. The differences between this one and also the front wing end plates is that we do get a little bit more of a gain with this one. So we're going to purchase that, and that will arrive for Mexico. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, it doesn't foul, and we can hopefully jump up to be the 4th, if not the 5th best team in the Aero. But overall, that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode, guys, and I do apologise in advance, because I've just accidentally, basically, my game froze after the race when I stopped commentating, and I couldn't record the replay cams. So unfortunately, there are no replay cams for this episode, which I already would have said at the start of the video anyway. But either way, hopefully you have enjoyed the video nonetheless. If you have, then please do leave a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for plenty more F1 content. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.